Okay, so ready to ditch that whole living paycheck to paycheck thing, make that money really work, you know?
It's a common goal.
Right. So we're diving into 5 tips for successful money-saving budgeting today. See if it's got the goods, those real actionable tips.
Sounds like a plan. Let's break it down.
No dusty spreadsheets, we promise. Unless you're into that. But, expert speaker, you up for busting some budgeting myths?
Absolutely. Let's unlock those secrets to financial freedom. I love that this article dives right into the importance of setting clear financial goals.
Yeah, it's like budgeting. When you do it right, it's not about like restricting yourself. It's about unlocking what's possible.
It's all about connecting with your why. Like, think about it. You wouldn't jump in your car and just start driving, no destination in mind, right?
Well, I mean, some people might, but
Okay, true. But with finances, you're the goals, that's your destination. The budget, that's the roadmap to get there.
love that analogy.
So instead of just saying, oh, I need to save more, it's got to be more specific, right? Like, I want to take that trip to Italy next year. And then we figure out how much to save each month to make it happen.
That's a game changer right there.
Yeah.
Suddenly, it's not some vague idea.
Exactly. And the article, it even suggests, you break down those big goals into smaller
Which
milestones.
makes it feel less
Like-
overwhelming.
Exactly. Like those motivational signs on a marathon route. Keeps you going.
I like that a lot. Focus on saving a smaller amount each week, right? Instead of staring down the total cost of some massive goal.
Makes it feel doable.
Tricking your brain, right? Think long term, but act short term.
Love it. Okay, but to do that, got to know where your money's going right now. That's where tracking expenses comes in. Key part of budgeting.
Okay, tracking. Gotta admit, not my favorite. Is it really that essential? Can't we just, like, estimate?
I hear you, but honestly, even if it's just for a short time, tracking every dollar is eye-opening.
You'd be surprised, right? All those little things.
Yeah. Exactly. You can't fix a leaky faucet, if you don't know where it's leaking from.
That's a good way to put it.
So track those expenses, you pinpoint those money leaks, and then you redirect towards your goals.
Okay, starting to see the value here. But real talk, sometimes life gets messy. Tracking every single thing. Overwhelming.
Oh, absolutely. But the good news is there are tons of budgeting apps out there. They can do most of the work for you.
Technology to the rescue.
Right. You can link your accounts, credit cards, the works, automatic tracking.
Dangerous how easy they make it.
Or, if you're more hands-on, a simple spreadsheet or even just a notebook does the trick.
Low tech works too.
Whatever works for you. The important part is you're doing it.
So we've got our goals, we're tracking our spending, feeling motivated. Time to tackle the big, right, the budget itself.
Let's do it. And remember, it's not about restriction.
Right, that's key.
This is where creating a realistic budget comes in, one that fits your life.
Because let's be real, a budget that's too rigid,
Yeah,
you're just gonna ditch it.
100%.
Yeah.
Life happens, right? Surprises. Your budget needs that flexibility to roll with it.
Okay, that makes sense.
And that's where I think this article is great. It emphasizes knowing the difference between your fixed expenses and those that are variable.
Okay, break that down for us.
So fixed, those are your non-negotiables. Rent or that mortgage payment. Utilities, car payments. They stay pretty consistent month to month.
The things you have to pay no matter what.
Right. Then you've got your variable expenses like groceries, entertainment, shopping sprees. They can fluctuate.
So like step 1, get real clear on those fixed costs, then see what wiggle room's left for the fun stuff.
You got it. Once you see that clear picture, then you can start setting limits for those different categories.
This isn't about deprivation, right? It's about being intentional with where your money goes.
Exactly. Aligning your spending with those goals we talked about earlier.
Because if that trip to Italy is important, maybe you skip takeout a few times. Or those fancy lattes.
Now you're getting it.
Tough choices.
But finding that balance, that's how you enjoy today and set yourself up for a solid future.
This is starting to feel less like, budgeting and more like a strategy session.
Right. Taking control.
We're calling the shots. And speaking of shots, our money. The article talks about prioritizing savings. Isn't having a budget enough?
Think of it this way. The budget. That's the blueprint. But your savings, that's the fuel. Powers those dreams.
Ooh, I like that.
Right. And this article, it has this great tip. Treat savings like it's a non-negotiable expense.
Non-negotiable.
Like, imagine it's a bill. You pay yourself first, before those tempting online purchases.
Okay, that's a mindset shift for sure. So instead of hoping there's leftover cash at the end of the month, we're making saving a priority from day one.
Exactly. And, bonus tip, automate it.
Oh, I like where this is going.
A lot of those budgeting apps we mentioned, you can set up automatic transfers.
Yeah.
Just like paying your bills automatically, you automate putting money into savings.
That's like paying your future self. I love it.
Consistent? No-brainer. Takes the emotion out of it.
Okay, making progress. We're organized, tracking, building those savings. Anything else to keep in mind?
The article wraps up on something really important. Regular budget reviews.
Okay, so it's not a set it and forget it kind of deal.
More like those regular checkups, yeah.
Like going to the dentist? Ugh,
Not my favorite either, but for your finances, okay?
yeah, I get it.
Think of it like a tune-up. You're making sure you're still on track to reach your goals. Because remember, life changes. Income changes. Maybe your goals change a bit.
Gotta stay flexible.
That's it. So the article, it suggests you check in on those spending patterns regularly. Make sure your budget still makes sense for your goals. See if you need to adjust.
Okay, yeah, that's smart. Life throws curveballs.
It does. And those check-ins. They let you adjust, make sure your money's working as hard as you are.
So not about being perfect, right? It's
Yes.
about making progress
Yeah.
and making sure those choices, they're lining up with what we want to achieve.
Exactly.
You know, this whole deep dive, it's got me thinking. So we're talking individual budgeting, right? But what if you could apply these same ideas collaboratively?
Collaboratively. I like where you're going with this.
Like setting financial goals together as a couple, or even like teaching these concepts to kids early on.
That's amazing. It's like
Yeah.
this ripple effect of financial empowerment, spreading the knowledge.
Right. So it's bigger than just one person's budget. It can impact families, relationships. It's about taking control together.
And imagine the financial conversations that could happen.
Right. Open, honest, everyone on the same page.
That's how you build a strong foundation. Not just financially, but for those relationships too.
This is great. So it's not just about crunching numbers. It's about building the life you want with the people you care about.
And having the knowledge and the tools to make it happen.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe those small choices we make today, they add up to some seriously big, amazing results down the road.
Absolutely. And the best part is, it's never too late to start.
Right. It's all about taking that first step, making that commitment to yourself. Just like you're listening to this podcast right now, you're taking the time, diving deeper.
You're already ahead of the game.
And now, time to take action. So to all our listeners out there, we challenge you, try these budgeting tips out.
You might just surprise yourself with what you can achieve.
Well said. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deeper. It's teamwork. Like, teamwork makes the dream work, right? But for budgeting.
Yeah, and so many of those big life things, they're better together. Buying a house, planning retirement, even that trip to Italy. More fun to share it.
And when everyone's on the same page financially. Less stress, less arguing, probably.
Right. There's actually research on this. Couples who talk openly about money set those shared goals, stronger relationships overall.
Wow. I never thought about it that way. So we're like relationship gurus now, too.
Well, we try. But you know what else this article got me thinking about? It mentioned adapting these tips, even for kids.
Whoa, hold up. Really? That's next level stuff. How do you even teach kids about budgeting?
You got to start simple, right? The difference between needs versus wants. Maybe they get a small allowance, get to make choices about spending or saving.
Ooh, giving them a little control. I like it. It's like setting them up for success later on.
Exactly. Financial literacy.
Yeah.
It's such a gift. I wish I had that earlier.
Me too. So we've gone from like solo budgeting to couples money to even teaching kids about it. This is eye-opening.
Right. It's about taking control, creating a life you're excited about, and maybe even helping others do the same.
It's not just about the numbers. It's bigger than that. It's about those choices we make and how they shape everything.
Exactly. And it's never too late to start making those choices.
That's the thing. Just like you're listening to this now, right? You're taking that time, you're learning. That's huge.
It is. It's that first step.
So to everyone out there, we challenge you, take these tips for a spin, see what happens. You might just surprise yourself.
You absolutely might. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing.
And keep diving deeper.